April 22nd, and it is beautiful. The sky in Philadelphia is so blue. It's not like a cloud in the sky over here, but it's cold. It's really cold out there. And the cold front came through. But listen, we all be grateful for it all. You ready? All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. This is the Courageous Conversations Connect space where we have our quarantine talks every Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Good morning, BJ. It's good to see you. BJ, thank you for purchasing that book. I didn't even know that your roommate had purchased in Vegas. BJ's in Vegas. I didn't know her roommate had purchased the books for her, and then she's also going to get a couple for some friends or what have you. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Good morning, Jamie. Jamie's on. Good morning, Marcia. Good morning. Good morning, IG family. Listen, it is a beautiful day in the neighborhood, whatever neighborhood you're in. It's going to be a beautiful day. And this is the Courageous Conversations Connect space where we have our quarantine talks. We're going to break for our sponsors and we're going to come right back. So stay with us.
We bring in a friend who we've known for years and years and years. He's an author, relationship therapist, Dr. R.G. Alan Wilson.
Some expert advice on how we can all talk to them. Joining us now is relationship expert Dr. R.G. Alan Wilson. She's the author of Courageous Conversations Connect. Good morning, R.G.
Doctor, good morning. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning, Janelle. It's good to be here. Thanks for having me.
And as we mentioned, a lot of people just dealing with anxiety during all of this. What are your suggestions?
Some of the things that we need to remember is that this is temporary. This is temporary inconvenience for long-term gain. And as long as we stay healthy, Janelle, then everything else is recoverable.
Talk to your children about what's happening right now. What are the best ways to do that?
There's some do's and don'ts, right? So you want to tell them that you're going to be here. We're going to be okay. Kids want to know that they're secure and they're safe. So predictability, structure, and consistency. You also want to let them know you have a plan. And even if you don't have a plan, tell them that you're working on one, right?
I like that topic. Hey, you caught me drinking some water. Get your H2O. It's important to stay hydrated. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Again, it's the Courageous Conversations Connect space where we're doing our quarantine talk. Give me some thumbs up, some smiley faces, some hearts. That helps with the algorithms. Going over and do your watch parties. If you can, our YouTube page, please do that. Our YouTube page is Ask Dr. RG, AskDrArgie. And hit the notification button. That will help us. We're trying to get our numbers up, and all of this helps with our algorithms. I'm so sorry. It is allergy season. So good morning, BJ. I saw where Tracy is on. Howdy, honey, she says. Gloria, good morning. Nicole, good morning. China, good morning. Autumn, good morning. I love that. I love that name, Autumn. If I had a daughter, I probably would name him that. That's one of my favorite times of the year. I like when the leaves change colors and all of that. So listen, I'm so excited to be here with you all. You all give me energy every day because we're going to set our intentions for the day. And so there's a couple things going on that I wanted to highlight for those persons in Philadelphia. The Black Doctors Consortium, headed and led by Dr. Ayla Stanford, is going to be at Penn Memorial Baptist Church today from, I believe, 10 to 4. They're doing free testing. You have to have some symptoms or exposed to someone with COVID-19, and they will be doing free testing there from 10 to 4. Morgan address, the address where our office is 53 5398 Winfield Avenue. And so it's on Georges Lane. That's where the parking lot is for the church. Yeah, on the corner of Winfield and Georges Lane. So go on over there if you need to. They're doing free testing, and shout out to all of those the charge for our community. And she's just making boss moves, and I just so appreciate her efforts to make sure that our needs and our communities are met, along with the Black churches. I was at Enon with our pastor, Reverend Dr. Alan E. Waller, on Monday, and now it's going to be at Penn Memorial. And I believe that Pastor Marshall Mitchell is involved in that initiative as well. So they're talking about education, advocacy, and they're doing testing. And so if you do have symptoms or you've been in contact with someone who is COVID-19 positive, go on over there and get your free test. Okay. So today, you all know what we do. I want y'all to give me some thumbs up, some smiley faces, some hearts. I also want you to let me know in the chat, just send me a word that tells me how you're doing. If you're happy, if you're sad, if you're feeling good, if you're feeling great, one word that sort of describes how you're doing. There is a method to this, and for you guys in IG, please do the same thing. One word that describes how you're feeling today, right? Because the topic for today is reset. All week, we're talking about resetting, right? Yes, on Monday, we were talking about resetting your mindset. On Tuesday, we were talking about resetting your focus. BJ says she's grateful. Awesome, awesome. And today, we're talking about resetting your intentions with positive thoughts. And the purpose of that is to reduce our anxiety, because many of us have anxiety and our thoughts get in the way of that. So resetting our intentions. My word, Autumn says, is still. I like that. Still. Peace, be still. So with that, keep putting in the chat the word that describes how you're feeling, because we want to begin our breath with those emotions. We want to breathe in the positive and we want to breathe out the negative. Nicole says thankful, and she spells thankful, THANK, and then full with capital letters FULL. I love it. I love it.
I like that.
Yeah, thankful, thankful. Oh, that's good. That's real good, Nicole. I like that. And so when we begin to do our breathing exercises, Morgan reminded me, the middle finger and the thumb, put them together, not the index finger. I don't know. I just, you get something in your head and then you just keep saying it even though you know it's wrong. So put your middle finger, your thumb together, or you can put your hands this way or on the sides of your thighs. I want you to kind of just relax your body, right? IG family, just relax your body, get into a comfortable position. The breathing is important, right? Because the truth is many of us have very, very shallow breath. We don't really think about it. We should think about it more because there are people out there that are struggling to breathe now. The COVID, this virus really seeks to try to take over your body, and it affects your lung capacity, your ability to breathe. It affects your oxygen. And so for those of us who have the ability to breathe in oxygen into our bodies and breathe out carbon dioxide, we should do that. It also is a good exercise to build your lung capacity. We also need to be building our immunity, our immune system, so that if we should be exposed to this, that we have something inside of us to fight it off. So we're breathing in. You all know, you all can tell me in the chat who you're breathing for as well. In addition to how you're feeling, tell me who you're breathing for. In addition to, of course, yourself. Are you breathing for the first line responders? Are you breathing for the essential workers? Are you breathing for the doctors, the nurses, the healthcare workers, the grocery store workers, the pharmacists, the truck drivers or the bus drivers or the flight attendants? Those are people that we never thought about as essential workers before. The postal workers that bring you your mail, right? The farmers that put the food on the shelf, the stockers. There are people that do these kinds of jobs every single day, and we don't really even thank them. So the next time you have to go to the grocery store or go to the pharmacist, thank them for being out there and putting themselves in harm's way. Citrina, hey, good morning, Citrina. She says, my husband, Dom, is on the front lines. He's a postal worker. So shout out to Satrina's husband, who's a postal worker. He's how we get our mail. And we need our mail. Some of y'all are looking for your stimulus checks. They might be coming in the mail. So we're going to thank Dom's husband, Sabrina's husband, Don, for putting, for being, putting himself on the front lines. Nicole says breathing for folks cleaning the hospitals and feeding patients, right? Those folks that are keeping the spaces and places clean where our loved ones might end up being. By the way, it's very scary to drop your loved one off at the hospital and then you can't be there to advocate for them. So then you have to trust that somebody's going to treat your loved one with the dignity and the respect and the care and nurturing that they actually deserve. Autumn says, I'm breathing for families of essential workers. Love it. Love it. Absolutely. And Satrina says the staff at Harlem Hospital. Yes. And
I just want to show some IDC love. Guess who's on?
Who's on?
Marla. Marla's on.
Hey, Marla. Thanks for joining us this morning. Good morning, Precious.
Yeah, Marla's on.
What are they breathing for? Did they say what they're breathing for or what emotion?
Let me see here. Let me see. Let's see who's saying something here. Someone said, grateful, just retired from 38 years of nursing career.
Congratulations. Who is that? Oh, you don't know.
It's
all right. No, don't worry.
Hamre, Gore Hamre. I don't know who that is.
Congratulations for your retirement. Hey, Dom.
Dominique says she's energized.
Energized. Me too. And I didn't even sleep that well last night for some reason, but I do feel energized. You guys giving me energy. Who else, babe?
Let's see. Let's see. I told you Marla's on. Nicole, our niece Nicole is on.
Hey, my beautiful niece Nicole, who is now 30. Welcome to the club. I'm acting like I'm 30. Welcome to the 30 club. I would like to think so. 30 in mind and in heart and in spirit anyway.
Somebody named Kaya Bliss and New Aurora 2015 or something like that. I don't know.
Okay.
These
all right.
ID names too.
All right, that's okay. No worries. No worries.
So Dominique said, breathing for those who are anxious.
Oh, dive into our posture. We now know who we're breathing for. We're going to, at the sound of my voice, breathe. When I count to 3, we're going to breathe in through the nose, hold it as long as we can, about 10 seconds, and then breathe out. And we'll do that 5 times. And then we'll move into our mantra. Let's get going. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Breathe in through the nose. Hold it. And out. Feel good. That felt good. Fill the lungs. Breathe in. And out. Breathe in, IG family. And out. Breathe in, good energy. And out. One last time, make it count for all of those people that you said you were breathing oxygen in. Breathe in. And out. Whew, that felt really good. Really, really, really good. Barry said, I'm feeling better and breathing for wife. A nurse. Thank you. Hey, Barry. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Feeling better. Were you sick? Were you not feeling well? I'm hoping that you did not get this virus, but tell us a little bit about what was going on with you. This breath is serious, guys. That's the reason why we do it. And that's how we start out the show, is breathing, because many people are not able to breathe. This virus, which you have to fight with every fiber of your mind, body, and spirit, if it infiltrates your system. I just did a segment yesterday on KYW News with Sherry Craig, and she highlighted a family that didn't take this seriously in the very beginning. There were a lot of people out there. For one, we didn't have all the information. Let's go on and be honest about that. But two, we did see some remnants of things going down in the wrong direction, and many people didn't take heed. So they allowed people to come over to their homes that they probably shouldn't have. They didn't know how to set appropriate boundaries. I've been getting a lot of questions about that. How do you set appropriate boundaries when you don't want to hurt your family's business, their feelings, but at the same time, you want to protect your family? So in this case, they allowed people to come over. Those people spread this virus. Now the whole family is sick. And there were some older people in the household and some younger people in the household. And I said to Sherry, I said, this is not worth it to play Russian roulette with your life, or the life of your family members. This is uncomfortable. All of it is uncomfortable. Yet, what's the alternative? That you act like it doesn't exist, put your head in the sand and, act as if, if you pretend that it doesn't exist, that it's going to be over? No, it's really about behavior. It's about us really doubling down on understanding that this may be delayed gratification, if you will. A temporary inconvenience for long-term gain. What's the long-term gain? The long-term gain is our lives. If we protect ourselves and we're safe, then we get to see another day, Lord willing, and we get to tell about it. The stories of COVID-19 in 2020, really it started in 2019, we know that, right? Will be told for many, many years. And wouldn't you want to be one of the individuals or one of the families that lives to tell about the story of how we grew through it? Because it really has caused us to rethink. That's why this whole week we're talking about reset, because now we're 5 weeks in, at least in Pennsylvania, to this quarantine. We're calling this quarantine talks. Please do your watch parties, send some thumbs up, give me some smiley faces. That helps with the algorithms. Go. Yep. Please invite your friends over. Please go onto the YouTube page and subscribe and hit the notification button. These all help us to continue to get the word out that we're doing these quarantine talks. And in the very beginning, none of us knew what to expect. But 5 weeks into this thing, we have a better idea of what things we did well and what things we didn't do so well. And I'm going to admit, like for me, being transparent, there probably were some things that I didn't do so well. Like I tried my very best to kind of get on board with what they were saying and try to decipher the information and make good decisions. Morgan and I strategized. We talked about what our plan of action was going to be. If you all remember, for some of you that are new, that are to the platform, we call it the POA. What was your plan of action? And if you didn't have a plan of action, or if you don't, you can reset now, right? In your plan of action, you can set your SSR. We call it the SSR because it's the safety care plan, the self-care plan, and the relational care plan. Those were the plans. I fundamentally believe that people don't plan to fail. They fail to plan. So if you got to reset your plan, or if you created a plan and it's not quite working 5 weeks in because everybody's frustrated and everybody's trying to get out, people are over it, then recalibrate the plan. Reset your plan of action, or your SSR, in order to move forward. Autumn says, my plan of action was not great initially, laugh out loud, but it's much better now, 5 weeks in. Awesome. Thank you, Autumn, for sharing that, right? Because we got to be transparent with each other, right? I, for one, tend to be more drawn to people who tell me the truth, right? Who tell me, not that you're great at everything, because none of us are, not that you're perfect, that doesn't exist. Tell me what you struggle with. I'd love to hear, now that we've had the breath, right? The breath of fresh air, the breath of oxygen, and breathe out the negative intentions, or if the worry and the anxiety. And we talked about how we're feeling. Let's talk about what we're struggling with, because today, the focus is on resetting our intentions with positive thoughts, right? And what are those positive thoughts? Daryl says, I agree, planning is important. Absolutely, Daryl. Thank you for joining. What are our intentions? I wanted to share, first of all, we didn't do our mantra, right? And our mantra today, what'd you say, babe? Go ahead. Oh. Gotcha. So when we come back, we're going to take a moment from our sponsors, and then we're going to come back and I'm going to share the mantra. We're going to do that together, and then we'll get into giving you some ideas of what you can do to reset your intentions with positive thoughts. All right, let's do that.
Growing a business can be overwhelming. However, it doesn't have to be difficult. With the right resources, task becomes easier and the rewards are great. EasyMake Systems makes online marketing and business management less confusing pages. Utilize our EasyMake Social to stay current with social media and our EasyMake Mail to drive more engagement through emails. How about creating 24/7 customer service with our EasyMake bots to be there whenever your customer needs to reach you? And more importantly, you can access all of our software on an easy-to-use dashboard that gives easy access from one location. EasyMake Systems is your single-source solution.
Team Talks, and we wanted to get into, after we do our mantra, and I want everybody to do it together, our mantra: when we appreciate the process, we turn pain into power. When we turn pain, well, let's say 1, 2, 3. We turn pain into power when we appreciate the process. And I praise God that you're well and that you're better. That you probably maybe not got tested and maybe had some symptoms from this virus. So I thank goodness that your wife and you are doing much better. Talk about turning pain into power, right? When we appreciate the process. Well, this morning, I did my meditation on my Calm app, and then I watched something on a Yanla's platform, and that was really good. I was just trying to bring positive energy into my spirit. Then I actually watched Gary Vee. He has some really good guests on the show. And one of the things that he, at this point, we know that the fallout from this will impact us economically. We already know that. Many people are not working. From a mental health perspective, there will be a fallout, right? We understand that when we've had this pause in the world, literally, that's going to have implications for how the world will look different. That said, how will you show up? How are you showing up? And what good can come out of this? Because there really is a silver lining. And it's today we talk about resetting our intentions with positive thoughts. I want you to think about how you've grown during this time. You know, give me some thumbs up, some smiley faces, some hearts. Do your watch parties. Let other people know we're on. And I want you to think about, and please send me in the text chat, how you have grown, what you have learned. What is the silver lining in all of this for you guys? We're 5 weeks in a process. When you turn pain into power, appreciating the process is you ought to have learned something about yourself. Tell me how you've grown, what you learned about yourself, what you learned about your family. And as you all share that, I want to share this with you. This is from Courageous Conversations Connect. Interestingly enough, I wrote this way before this pandemic, but it talks about a pathway to reset your mindset with intentional thoughts from the inside out. This is week 5. I chose week 5 because we're in week 5 of quarantine. And it's interesting, in week 5, the title of week 5 is called Speak Life, LIFE. The words stand for love, integrity, freedom, and energy. And the beginning part of this says, in this courageous conversation, have you ever thought about the opportunity we all have to speak either life or death into people? It's really our choice. The power of words matter, and we can speak life into ourselves and others with one decision: to lift up versus put down. In a world where we are encouraged not to be kind and affirming to others while highlighting the worst of someone's limitations, titanic plates can shift with one decision to use words to help and not hurt those we encounter daily. Besides, it takes much more energy to be mean-spirited than kind-spirited. My mother used to say, it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. What's your intentions today? How can you move your intentions to positive thoughts? So let me share something a little bit about thoughts with regards to how we're thinking. Autumn says, I've learned new ways to do ministry and how if I encourage folks to lean into God in times of trouble and change, then I need to be practicing what I preach. Absolutely. I feel the same way, Autumn, to be honest with you. I mean, I spend a lot of time, you all know, I still continue to do my practice here, both practice and therapy and coaching online. And I've recognized that there are times, even during this pandemic, in this 5-week quarantine, where I had to reset my mindset because I recognized that I was teaching people and helping people to be empowered. And I was really helping them to think about how they can turn their pain into power by appreciating the process. But then times I wasn't appreciating the process myself. Sometimes I was getting into my own stinking thinking. So we're human beings, and that we have to push the reset button on a daily basis, right? Or maybe minute to minute, moment to moment. What do you struggle with? How have you what were your intentions, even for the day? Can you tell me what you set out to and intended for your day? Because it can deviate. It can be a little bit like a roller coaster. You can set your intentions and they can be really positive. And then all of a sudden it deviates. Something happens and it knocks you off your square. The thoughts that many of us have, to be honest, sometimes those thoughts are ways that we're thinking about something that there's a new thing called anticipatory anxiety, right? It's like the thoughts that something bad is going to happen, or you're not going to have enough money, or you're going to, not get your job back, or, you're not going to get your stimulus check. It's like these thoughts that are trying to prepare us to stave off the catastrophe or the disaster. And it's our way of trying to control things. And what we know, quite frankly, is that we're not controlling anything. All we're managing to do is make ourselves more anxious with those thoughts. And so we kind of have to look at thoughts. In fact, I looked outside and I didn't see any clouds. It was very blue sky. But think about your thoughts as like the clouds. You know how you can look up in the sky and you can see the clouds moving? That's what I want you to think about when you're intentional with these thoughts. If you've got negative thoughts, move them out of your space. We have the power to shift our thought process. It actually is a phenomenal process within our brain capacity to think something and then shift it to a positive place. I want you all to try it. Think about, like, what have you thought that was really, really negative, and you thought it because you were trying to protect yourself from the pain, protect yourself from the fear, protect yourself from the worry that something bad was going to happen. And then you sat still. Somebody said that they sit still, right? And they thought, okay, how can I reframe this? How can I create a silver lining in this? How can I reset my intentions with more positive thoughts that help me versus hurt me? So if y'all are going to be honest, what are some of the intentions that you've set for yourself, and how have you deviated, and how did you have to bring yourself back? What intention did you set for yourself today? Did you intend to come onto this platform and have these quarantine talks? Do you intend to be productive? How many of y'all intend to be productive and you're saying, I'm going to have a really productive day, but it didn't start out so good? Do you intend to get a lot of things done? Do you intend to take care of yourself today, right? Some of my goal setting is, elevating my spiritual connection. Send me in the text chat what your intentions are. What are the intentions that you set for yourself today? Now, think about this. If you've, and this is a funny, like sometimes we try to control other people. So did you also set some intentions for your partner today? Did you set some intentions? Because Morgan calls me the environment bully. And I don't know, like, guys, you all can tell me what y'all think about that. I don't think he should label me as the environment bully. I'm just trying to help, right? I'm trying not to hurt. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My sinuses. I know that sounds really bad when I do that, so I apologize, guys. My sinuses get the best of me, and it's postnasal drip, so I do apologize. I was about to say that people say that I'm a little controlling in my environment, so I try to only control my positive thoughts. But sometimes I find myself controlling my husband's actions. Like I was like, you need to set up your telehealth appointment with your doctor. So I'm a little bossy when it comes to those kinds of things. Yes, babe.
Okay. Dominique says, my therapist told me the need for control perpetuates and fosters anxiety. Yes, it does. She also says, I have made these quarantine talks a part of my day. Awesome. That's what we want.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Thank you. And let other people know.
Yes.
And Dominique, you're absolutely right that the need to control those thoughts, because it's our coping mechanism. It's our coping mechanism to try to prevent the bad things from happening. But it doesn't think that we're doing something good, when in actuality, when our anxiety, Dominique knows this, when our anxiety gets elevated, so do our cortisol levels get elevated, our adrenaline hormone levels get elevated. All those things don't work well for our system, for our neurological system, right? For our central nervous system, if you will. So we have to find additional ways to decrease those anxieties and recognize that we're not in control of anything anyway. So, especially other people. Did somebody else say something, babe?
No, I just, Allison was like, environment bully? What? And then Allison said that, then Dominique said, she's just kind of smacking my hand and said, West Morgan in all caps, set up your telehealth.
Yeah, listen, if this is not a funny, Morgan's like, oh, I texted him last night. I said, did you keep your doctor's appointment this morning? I see it's on the schedule because we have a common schedule. And he's like, oh, they said, just call back.
I didn't have my hand waving all that. My hand didn't do all that.
Whatever. It was a text. We're texting from another room. And he's like, oh, they said, just call back, when things die down.
Email.
You need to set up your telehealth appointment.
They did give me the option for telehealth. Wait a minute, who else? Karen, I think Karen said Chocolate Teddy 1. I believe that's Karen. She said, they're just gentle reminders for your hubby. Not controlling at all, laugh out loud.
Thank you.
You can say that. You're not on the receiving end of that stuff.
Well, tell me if you think I'm wrong to make sure that my husband sets up his telehealth appointment so that he can be healthy, right? And I have to remind him sometimes to take his vitamins, things like that. And then he calls me an environment bully. I'm just setting positive intentions for the household. I'm telling on him a little bit.
Chocolate. Karen says, he said, I've been called a bully at my job, but sometimes you just have to let them know who's boss. What do you mean who's boss?
We're in charge. The women are in charge. No, just kidding. We are a team. And so there's some other folks that are on here that are sharing. Let's see.
I'm sure some IG, some love.
Yes, thank you, IG. Thank you, IG. So let's see. Let me go back. Yeah, so Nicole says my set intentions are to create a practice of being meaningfully intentional. I like that word. It's a little bit of a tongue twister, but meaningfully intentional, right? Are you intentional in ways that are meaningful to you, right? And to the people around you. Recognize though that some people have a different, we call my niece sometimes Coley. I'm intentional sometimes about that, or guilty of sometimes sort of projecting onto others. And this concept of resetting the intention with positive thoughts. Barry said, I have developed a daily practice of peaceful mindset pursuit. Because the enemy of peace is anxiety, I've bought into the peace maturation process. I love it. Peaceful, be in pursuit. We are action oriented. Even the book that I have, it creates action steps for people to focus on. One was mother was a police officer, father was a firefighter. So it itself. Nicole says, yes, your plan of action, your SSR, that safety plan requires, quite frankly, or even the relational plan, that you have a family meeting. You guys sit down at the dinner table once a week, talk about how things are going. That's what you would do with your coworkers. That is what you would do in the place of your, entrepreneur. You'd sit down and say, how are we doing? How are things going? What's working? What's not working? So that we're not projecting and so that we can recalibrate. So if that works. And then Autumn says, yes, Barry, I like that. I like it too. That's awesome. That's awesome. So when we think, guys, about this concept of our intentions, my call to action for you guys today is let's embark on a healing journey to speak words of life into each person you connect with daily and see how your words of kindness, inspiration, aspiration, and motivation, as well as spiritual elevation, come back to you in the divine laws of universal connection. Aspiration, inspiration, motivation, spiritual connection, all of those things are positive intentions, right? So we can look at the positive intentions of what we do in the world, right? Like what we do in our own microsystems, but it starts from here. It starts from your mental thought process. That's why we call it, resetting your mindset with intentional thoughts from the inside out, a pathway. It's the pathway to the neural transmitters that help you to think more positively about what's happening. The truth is, all of this is so new and it's so scary. And there's so much worry and anxiety about what is going to happen. We often have anxiety about the fear of the unknown. We can't control what we don't know, quite frankly, but we can control the here and now. That's why mindfulness is really important. That's why meditation is really important. What can you control? I always say when my clients are talking about their fears, I say, okay, let's focus on what you do have versus what you don't have. Let's focus on what you can control versus what you can't control. You're halfway there if you're able to double down on that, and then we can work the rest out. If you can control right now being healthy, that's a good thing. Everything else is secondary or tertiary. If you control perhaps helping your family to see the beauty of the gift that we've been given, think about it. This is a resetting of our intentions with positive thoughts. Tell us in the text chat, what are the positive thoughts that you want to have as an intention for today? Do you want to have more joy today? Do you want to have more peace today? Are you intentional about having more happiness or contentment today? Do you want to have more serenity today? If you set those intentions, right, and you continue to bring yourself back to what you set your intentions for, it's like setting the dial. Turn up your intentions about all of the positive stuff that you're going to be infusing into your mind, body, and spirit. All of those things can be helpful to you with regards to your movement, right? Your movement into a positive place. Autumn says, I'd like to have more serenity today. Great, Autumn. It's yours. It's yours to take. See, that's the trick of the enemy, quite frankly, acting as if those things aren't available to us in abundance when they are. Perhaps you haven't gotten your stimulus check and that's not available to you, but serenity, that's available to you right here, right now, today. It's in your mind, it's in your body, it's in your spirit. And I guarantee you another thing, that as you emanate that, as you put those in water, more hydration, me too. That's why I have my water always doing a great job, better than I've ever done before. Morgan's clapping. He needs to be doing a good job too. So when I'm upstairs in my office and I'm seeing clients today, like every hour and a half, I'm trying to drink a bottle of water just to kind of keep myself hydrated. The oxygen, keep breathing. That's available to you. If you are not sick and you are not short of breath, don't take that oxygen for granted. Breathe in, deep breaths, hold it, fill your lungs up with oxygen, then breathe out that carbon dioxide as you're breathing in all the good intentions and breathing out the bad ones. Patrice says, I want my faith to be stronger. I love it, Patrice. So here's the thing about faith. And I've been doing some talks on faith, faith in the midst of crisis, faith in the midst of storms, faith in the midst of turmoil, faith in the midst of pandemic. Here's the thing about faith. Our faith is stronger than we realize. We are a resilient people. We've been through a whole lot, right? And so it's important for us to think about, as my good friend Jean Austin Jefferson says, faith and fear do not reside in the same space, right? And fear can overtake us. Fear is kind of setting the atmosphere in a negative way sometimes, because the truth is, IG family, that fear is sort of, we execute on fear because we think we're protecting ourselves. We're trying to prevent the bad things from happening. Fear of like perhaps not having enough, or fear of lack. When in actuality, the faith is when we double down on faith and we elevate it so that we're on fleek, that faith helps us to move forward with our intentions for all the positive things. And I guarantee you, if you woke up this morning, you have something to be grateful for. You have another opportunity to set your intentions and set that dial on something, on positive energy, if you will. You have another opportunity to make it count. We can either count every day or make every day count. You have another opportunity to make someone's day by sending positive messages their way. Text somebody, right? Be intentional. Someone said meaningful engagement. Be intentional about texting someone or calling them or face chatting them, FaceTiming them. There's Google Duo. There's Google Hookup. There's all kinds of ways to text, to reach out to someone in this social media space to give them positive energy and positive affirmation. That's the other thing I've done today. I've already sent a positive affirmation to at least 4 people in addition to this. So I've been really, really working on creating energy. And when you set that atmosphere in that way, then it creates positive energy. It creates vibration that goes in and out of the system. And it helps that's why that's a prime example. That's a prime example, Dominique. That's a prime example of why, and I'm looking out because I'm thinking about an example right here. Okay. That's why I was looking here. Okay. That as I'm looking out my window, I'm thinking about that there's no clouds right now, but the thoughts are like clouds. If you look up, if you kind of process the clouds that are moving, they're very much like thoughts. They're very much like the negative thoughts that we want to just keep them moving, not accept them. And then the positive thoughts, we want to insert them, infuse them, and being intentional about that. We have the power to do that. It's very, very interesting that sometimes, Dominique, we act like we don't have the power. Oh, the power is inside of us. It's not on the outside. But too often we use these other messages from the external sources as if they are powerful sources, like watching the news and seeing all the devastation. We know, and I've said this for the last couple of weeks, I was like, you got to minimize the media coverage, get your dose of seeing what's going on in the world, and maybe in the morning, maybe in the afternoon, and maybe in the evening, but boundary it so that you're then playing music. If you all, I don't know how many people remember the 4 M's. Y'all tell me who has been on here for the last 5 weeks that remembers the 4 M's. I'm curious. Dominique, I know you've been on here. Tell me the 4 M's, because those are the things that are going to help us through, not just minimizing the thoughts, but maximizing, quite frankly, the engagement. So tell me what your thoughts are. I also want to hear what your intentions are with regards to the day, the evening, quite frankly, because everybody has, a long day, but do you set a boundary to transition to another part of your day? If you're working from home, do you have an end time? That's one of the things that I've been needing to do and trying to set my intention of, transition and ending, if you will, my day. Tell me if you have a transition for your day that is intentional about winding down, and we need to honor them, right? So that we can continue to be healthy and happy and content. All right. So we're space, that's what we will actually be posting on the YouTube page. So we are back, and I want to thank you. I want to make sure that I get everyone's comments in before we transition. BJ said, stay connected. Wednesdays are days that I set aside for happy hour with friends on video. I love that. So that's a good transition. Happy hour. Although I did a segment last week that said that a lot of people are having multiple happy hours. So you got to be careful that you're not having like 5 happy hours a day, because we wouldn't normally do that typically on a work day. And so that can be problematic. Autumn says, I'm going to be intentional about not getting overwhelmed by all. I love it, Autumn. That's great. Nicole says meaningful engagement, movement, music, meditation, and I can't remember the 5th. Yes, Nicole, that you got it close. Yay!
DM her address.
Okay, so we're gonna send you something, Nicole, for getting 4 out of 5. So please DM us your address so that we can send you a gift. So once a week, if I ask people to remember something from the previous week and they get it, then you get something. We're going to send you something special. And the 5th is music, right? So the 5 M's are.
I'll put it back up.
Okay, she puts it back. So the 5 M's, and it goes in this direction. So mindfulness, mindfulness, meditation, movement, meaningful engagement, and music. Mindfulness, setting your intentions to be mindful, staying in the present, not too far in the past, not too far in the future, in the present. Then meditation, whatever your meditation is, these are the things that you should be doing throughout the day. Start with a meditation that helps you to set your intentions or reset your mindset, if you will. Then moving into movement. You got to move. You got to move the toxins out of your body. You got to move the hormones, the positive hormones into your body. You got to move and get your body moving, get your limbs moving. And then, of course, we know the meaningful engagement is even what we're doing right now. If you see this as meaningful engagement, also meaningful engagement with your children or your partner or your parents or your siblings or your friends, right? Sending positive messages to them, having them send you positive messages, words of affirmation, being kind, as I said, with the life. Are you speaking life, love, integrity, freedom, and energy? And then finally, music, right? Music speaks to our soul, whatever music you like. Of course, I play India.Arie over and over and over again. And I think that Alicia Keys has a new song called Good Job that's coming out. So I'm interested in hearing that. So whatever music helps you is important. Autumn says, I'm going to be intentional about not getting overwhelmed by all. I can't read that before. I'm sorry, Autumn. Oh, intentional about exercising is Katrina. And then Autumn is, I'm going to be intentional about not getting overwhelmed with Zoom meetings and conference calls this afternoon. I appreciate that, right? As someone that is on Zoom quite a bit, for IG family and Facebook family and Zoom family, you do have to set your breaks in between. I get the autonomy of being able to set when my breaks are. So every session I have a 30-minute break, and then I go into another session, and then I'm able to do my stretching, get some hydration, even go out and get some vitamin D during that break. I encourage you to do the same. If you have some autonomy to be able to do that, or if you can mute and it's not your time to talk in those Zoom meetings, then take some time out for you. Make sure that you eat well, right? It's important. Make sure you take your supplements. Make sure that, of course, you hydrate. All this is really, really important to the whole body, the whole ecosystem of the mind, body, spirit, and soul. Okay, so that's really, I think we've extended in our conversation because I felt like it was so good for us to set the intention. So my prayer, and my wish for all of you today is for you to set your intentions to positive thoughts from the inside out, and to then set the atmosphere in whatever community you're in so that other people catch it. Thank you so much for joining the Courageous Conversations Connect space, where we have our quarantine talks every single day, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Please go on over to YouTube if you're not on there already, and subscribe and hit the notification button. We'll have more content there. And thank you, IG family, for joining. I love you. We love you. There's nothing you can do about it. And we'll see you tomorrow. Have a beautiful day on purpose from my heart to yours.